Hello everyone, my name is Pulkit Gupta and today we are going to study about scalp. About what is scalp and its extent, its layers and some applied aspect also. So without wasting time, let's get started. So our today's topic is scalp. So scalp is it is a soft tissue. It is a soft tissue covering the vault of skull. It is a soft tissue covering the vault of skull. Vault of skull. So this is scalp. Now we see, so first of all we'll see the extent of scalp. So for that we'll draw a rough diagram. I'm drawing this diagram for the better understanding of its extent. Otherwise this diagram has no use. So this is some person, we are watching this person from sideways. So now we see the extent of scalp. So anteriorly it is present above the eyebrow till the superciliary arch. That is anteriorly, if we see in the anteriorly, we can see it is present in the superciliary arch, and laterally it is present uh, on each side to the superior temporal line. So laterally to the superior temporal line, and posteriorly we see, so it is present till the superior knuckle line. Posteriorly we see it is present till the superior knuckle line. So these are the extent of scalp. So you can see anteriorly it is present. So this all are the reason. So basically the soft tissue covering the vault of skull, this is the scalp. Anteriorly superciliary arch, you can see anteriorly it is superciliary arch, laterally we see it is superior temporal line, and posteriorly it is superior knuckle line. So this is the extent of scalp. Now we'll see the layers. This is extent. Now we are seeing the layers. So to remember the layers of scalp, you can remember a trick, and this trick is very easy trick. You can remember the mnemonic for scalp, remembering the layers of scalp is scalp itself. What is the mnemonic? The mnemonic for scalp layers is scalp itself. You just have to remember SCALP, scalp. So now I will tell you different layers. So S for skin. So I'm telling you these all layers from superficial to deep we are going. This is skin, then connective tissue, this is aponeurosis of occipito or aponeurosis. This is L for loose areolar tissue, and for P it is pericranium or some say periosteum. This is aponeurosis. So these are the 5 layers. skin, connective tissue, aponeurosis, loose areolar tissue, and the pericranium. So now we understand these layers through a diagram. For that we'll draw a diagram. So outermost is skin. You can see outermost is skin. After that there's a layer that is of connective tissue. So we'll make connective tissues in this layer. So in the connective tissue there's a vessels present, arteries and veins. So artery and veins present, also nerves also present, and also you can see the hair follicles. These are the hair follicles present. The third layer is A for aponeurosis. Is the aponeurosis. Then after this layer A, then L is a loose areolar tissue. The layer is loose areolar tissue. Present some statins. The next layer is pericranium. So this pericranium layer is present. This pericranium layer is present just above the vault of skull. So this is vault of skull, and it is present just above the pericranium, and there's a suture present of the bone. And below the inside the skull there's a vein present, that is intracranial dural venous sinuses present. You can see this is, I'm drawing intracranial venous dural sinuses, and there's one vein which is connecting this layer from intracranial to the inside. So there is a layer which is connecting this. Now that layer is emissary veins. Now I will write the names. So see, this layer is skin. After this layer is a layer of connective tissue. Is the connective tissue. Layer number second. This is first layer. This is second layer. And this layer contain arteries. As you can see, this is artery. Also contain vein, and also these are the hair follicles, hairs. Now after this, the third layer is you can see SCA, A for, as you know, it is aponeurosis. Aponeurosis. The next layer is the fourth layer is L for loose areolar tissue. Loose areolar tissue. The next layer is pericranium. And this veins, this is this layer is emissary veins. And this one is, see, the layers are these 5 layers. This is emissary vein, and the last, this portion, this is intradural venous sinus. So these are the layers of scalp. Now we will talk about these layers in detail. So we talked about the first layer we talked about is the skin. So about the skin, if we say, so skin is a layer, the first layer, as you know, it is basically thick and hairy, and since it contains sebaceous gland, so there is so basically there's a chances of this, the commonest site for This is a common site for sebaceous cyst. Sebaceous cyst. So this point you have to remember that the skin is very thick and hairy, contain hair follicles, and also sweat glands are also present. And it is, since it is present more amount of sebaceous gland present, that's why it's a common site for sebaceous cyst. The second layer we talked about is the connective tissue. Connective tissue. So this connective tissue, also known as superficial fascia, we can say. This is superficial fascia. So this superficial fascia is basically, this layer is made up of dense connective tissue. This is made up of dense connective tissue, and in this layer basically present blood vessels and nerves present of the scalp. Blood vessels and nerves of scalp present. Now after this, the third layer is aponeurosis. So we are seeing aponeurosis. So there must be some muscle. So the muscle is occipitofrontalis muscle. The name, so it is formed by the occipitofrontalis muscle. So it is formed of occipitofrontalis muscle. So basically it is present, as you can see, it is present in the frontal region, and it will move till the occipital region. It will move from the frontal region to the occipital region. It will be present. So this occipitofrontalis muscle, basically aponeurosis of this muscle, we need to understand that it contains 4 bellies. We need to study a little bit about this muscle. This contains 4 bellies. Now 2 bellies are the frontal bellies. Is the frontal bellies, and 2 bellies is the occipital bellies. Now these frontal bellies, we need to understand about this frontal belly. Basically we have to understand its origin and insertion. Basically this arises from skin and subcutaneous tissue over the, so basically it is subcutaneous tissue which is present over the eyelid and root of nose. So main point which I have to tell you, and that is, it arises from this region and it will insert into the epicranial aponeurosis in front of coronal suture basically. So what I have to tell you, that this frontal belly of occipitofrontalis muscle, it does not have bony attachment, no bony attachment. So this point is very important. This will lead to one clinical condition, that is black eye. I will tell you later in this video. So it will lead to, there's no bony attachment. Now the next layer is our fourth layer. Now basically we have to tell you about the occipital belly also. So occipital belly. So this occipital belly arises from lateral two-third of superior knuckle line, lateral two-third of superior knuckle line, and it basically insert same place at the epicranial aponeurosis, or you can say Galea aponeurosis, similar as frontal belly insert. So basically, as you can see, it has bony origin. It will insert into the epicranial aponeurosis, and the nerve supply we see for frontal belly. It is for frontal belly, the nerve supply is temporal branch of facial nerve, while for occipital belly, it is the same as similarly to this is posterior auricular branch of facial nerve. So both are the branch of facial nerve. In frontal belly it is temporal branch, similarly of the facial nerve, and the posterior auricular branch of facial nerve. So this is we talked about the aponeurosis layer, third layer. Now about the fourth layer is the loose areolar tissue. So this loose areolar tissue, this layer basically it contains made up of loose areolar tissue, as the name suggests. Basically the main characteristics of this layer contains emissary veins. What these veins do, basically it connect second layer of scalp with the intracranial dural venous sinuses. So basically this venous emissary veins transfers in this layer. So basically it provides communication of second layer with the intracranial dural venous sinuses. The next layer is pericranium. Now this pericranium layer is formed by the periosteum of the bones of bones of vault of skull. So that's all are the 5 layers of the scalp. We studied about skin, connective tissue, aponeurosis. It's about the occipitofrontalis muscle, it's frontal belly, occipital belly, the loose areolar tissue, and the pericranium. Now one more is applied anatomy. We need to see the applied. So the applied is the first one is surgical layers of the scalp. Surgical layer of scalp. Basically this the first 3 layers, that is as you know, that is skin, then connective tissue, and the aponeurosis. These 3 layers are basically adherent to each other, so cannot be separated from each other. Basically I'm talking about first 3 layer. So since they cannot be separated, when we do dissection of in a cadaver, these layer cannot be separated. That's why these 3 layers are called surgical layers of the scalp. The second applied is black eye. I told you that this frontal belly that does not have no bony attachment, this leads to one clinical condition. So due to injury of loose areolar tissue, that is fourth, if there's an injury in the loose areolar tissue, so the blood and fluid, so what will happen, this blood and fluid will not be able to move to the occipital region, will not be able, since there's a bony attachment, so it will move forward, because in frontal region, basically in anteriorly, there's no attachment. So due to there's no attachment, it will move anteriorly and lead to hematoma, and it will spread and cause black discoloration. This black eye cause black discoloration of skin around eye. Since there is no bony attachment in front, so this hematoma will spread anteriorly and will cause black discoloration of skin around the eye. There's one more applied, is the dangerous area of scalp. So this dangerous area of the scalp, so basically this loose areolar tissue, this loose areolar tissue is called, basically this layer is called dangerous area of the scalp, because in this region blood and pus will collect, and this pus and blood will travel through emissive vein into the intracranial durovenous sinuses and leading to thrombosis, which may be fatal. So basically in this layer, through basically infection, if I write infection or pus will spread and spread to basically into the intradural sinuses and it will lead to thrombosis and causes thrombosis, which may be fatal. So that's it for this video. Hope you like it. This side Pulkit Gupta.